with Mario Lopez.
What's up, y'all? Mario Lopez joining me now on Zoom. Oscar-winning actor and the singer of Indoor Garden Party. My man, one of my favorites, Mr. Russell Crowe. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
How you doing, man? I'm pretty good. We're like, I think this is gig 18 of 28 or something like that. So we've been, we played Glastonbury Festival. We've been in Dublin. We played Paris. We played at the Colosseum. We played at the ancient amphitheater in Pompeii, Ascoli Piceno, Piacenza, Varese. We had 12,000 people in Siena. Where else have we been? Diamante, Caparso. So we've got 5 more shows in Italy, but we've also been through England too. We played in London, we played Leeds, we played Inverness. We got 5 more shows in Italy, and then we come to America, and we're doing both coasts. We've been in New York, New Jersey, then Los Angeles. Then we go in the middle to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then we go to Austin, Texas, and then the tour finishes in New Orleans at Tipitina's.
That is an incredible, legit world tour. You're covering everything. You're currently in Italy, I believe, at the moment. You mentioned the Colosseum. That had be a bit surreal and sort of cool. Were people showing up in certain attire to sort of celebrate you?
No, it was actually a private event put on by the city of Rome, but they allowed us a certain amount of tickets, and through the grace of a sponsor, we had the Optical Express helping us with that. Actually, we were able to then just give the tickets away, so we could sort of just let anybody who wanted to, wanted to come into the space. So that was cool. But the city also put a screen outside the event arena, so anybody who was hanging around could watch the show as well. So that was really nice.
Russell, for those who may not be familiar with Indoor Garden Party, how would you describe the band's sound?
Well, we cross over a lot of different sort of genres and grooves, man. We touch into a little bit of gospel. We do some blues, some country stuff, some straight out rock and roll. There's a couple of sort of singery, songwritery moments in the show as well. But really, our main job is to make sure people have a great time by the end of the night. We understand what that job is, and that's what we aim for, man. So, there's a lot of stuff speckled throughout the show that if you don't necessarily know Indoor Garden Party, you will know that song. So, and we kind of adapt our mood a little bit too to where we're playing. Like currently in Italy, we finished the night. I do this sort of joke gag with the audience. Un altro canzone, one more song, and then I go, un altro canzone italiano.
Hey.
Then we do a song in Italian, So so we definitely having fun with it, man. Definitely.
I bet that's really, really cool. And the new album is Pros and Cons. What inspired these songs?
Well, what I wanted to do was an album that sort of balanced out between originals and covers. So the pros, P-R-O-S-E, stands for the originals, and the cons stands for the covers. A lot of these songs, it's just the same sort of thing. Something happens in your life, you observe something, or you go through a certain situation, and the way to process that is that eventually comes out as a song. So I've been working on this album probably since 2019, when I was shooting The Loudest Voice in New York. I wrote the first couple of songs for the album then, and it's just taken that amount of time. Through COVID, we did a lot of recording. We were hanging out together a bunch, but we didn't do any shows. But then last year we did a big tour of Australia. We did like 25 shows in Australia, then Malta, and a couple of shows in Italy. And those shows were the impetus for us coming back to Italy this year. I think we're doing like 15 concerts in total in Italy, but we also did England, like I said, and Scotland and Ireland, and we played in France too. So yeah, it's sort of starting to build its own thing, and people are listening to the album a little bit. So it's cool. I'm really interested to get back to America, man, because I haven't played live in America. If I stop and think about it, I think the last time I toured America would have been 2012.
It's been a minute.
12 years ago. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I really cut down the live shows when I had kids,
Right.
because, you know, you're away for a movie and then you come home for a day and you're back on a music tour. So I sort of, you know, I sort of like pared it right down and only would do things every couple of years. But, you know, my youngest is about to finish high school this year. So things are ramping up again, and the boys really like coming on tour with me as well.
I
So
bet.
that's fun, you know.
Yeah.
And my eldest has actually, for half this tour, he was getting up and doing a song with the band, but he's gone back because he had university restarting. So
Oh,
in
that's the
Australia,
best. That's got to be the best feeling in the world.
it's
My kids play as well. Play
mate.
piano, drums.
Oh, yeah, they
Um,
do.
oh
Cool,
yeah.
cool.
My daughter's now playing
Yeah,
guitar and stuff. So there's nothing cooler than that. I ask you about the tour in America too. I know you recently performed with Andrea Bocelli. That must have been very, very
yeah.
cool. Bit of a high
It was
pressure
wild,
moment,
man.
I imagine.
A couple of years ago, he called me and he said, "Would I like to come and do this thing?" And it just so happened I was actually on holiday with my kids, and you know, we don't really get that much time together, you know, between school and all that sort of stuff. Oopsie,
Sure.
lost in here. Um, so I kind of examined it, and you know, I could understand it. There's you know, a great opportunity and a privilege to be asked and everything. But I had to call him back and say, "Listen, man, I'm just going to stick with the kids. All right, I'm sorry." You know, and I said, "Look, you know, maybe if you know in the future you want to do this, just you know, give me a little bit more time." So almost immediately, I got a formal invitation and a date for like a year and a bit off, you know.
Wow.
And so this time around, I made it, you know, and it was so cool, man. The top of a mountain in Tuscany at the Teatro del Silenzio, and I go out and do a song, and you know, my piano player is Andrea Bocelli. You
Wow.
know, it's pretty special.
That is
And
pretty moment.
I just heard the audio from it today too, and even in the middle of the tour and all the logistical craziness with transport and car rides and economy flights because it's you know it's band dollar time.
Right.
Um, my voice held up pretty well for the concert, so I'm happy about that.
Nice. Nice. Do you happen to know where you're playing in LA?
Yeah, August 14th, we're at the Whiskey a Go Go.
Oh,
So
awesome.
we've got a kind of a
I'm
yeah,
gonna
we've
be
got a
there.
kind of a good man, excellent. We've
That's an
got
awesome.
a a really cool mix of like classic rock and roll venues and just interesting places, you know.
Yeah.
So we start off in America. We play at the Stone Pony in Asbury Park, you know, the home of Bruce Springsteen or the
Yeah. Yeah.
breeding ground of Bruce Springsteen. Then we play Sony Hall in New York City, which is a great rock and roll venue. Then we fly across the country for the show in the Whiskey. Then we go to the River Spirit in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Then we play Stubbs Barbecue in Austin, which is a great venue. And then we finish off at Tipitina's, which is like, you know, 800-seater, tiered, old sort of
Yeah.
like theater vibe in New Orleans, like one of the homes of music. So really looking forward to that, man. It's going to be fantastic.
That's impressive that you can remember all those dates. I would have to look at my phone constantly for the schedule. I don't even know what's going on
they're,
tomorrow on my schedule. You've
they're
got the whole tour
imprinted.
down.
They're imprinted in my brain. It's like it's been
Um,
repeated so many times. It's like stamped, you know.
in the works as well during all this touring, you also have a film called Rothko, where you play painter Mark Rothko. Is there anything you could tell us about
I
that?
haven't done that. I haven't done that yet. That hasn't been set up yet. That they've been talking about that for a number of years.
Got it.
I'm still connected to it, but they haven't done it. But what's cool at the moment is last week I had a #1 film on Netflix, Land of Bad.
Yes.
Currently it's #3 in the world. But also on Hulu, I have another one of my movies called Sleeping Dogs as #1. Um, Later on in the year, we've got the big Marvel Sony Dark Universe film Craven the Hunter,
Craven the
where I
Hunter.
play a Russian. Yeah, and
Spider-Man villain,
then
right? Spider-Man villain?
what was that?
Spider-Man villain? Craven the Hunter?
Craven the Hunter is yeah,
Yes.
but I play his father.
Oh, got
I
it.
play
Okay,
Craven.
got
So I'm Superman's dad.
it.
I'm Thor, God of gods,
Yes.
and I'm also the father of Craven the Hunter. Mhm.
That makes
It's been
perfect sense
a
because
couple of
all
years.
those characters need to have some gravitas, so they need someone like it. Perfect sense. Like I totally get it with
Cool,
the casting. Real quick
cool.
before you go, what are your feelings on the Gladiator sequel, Russell?
Well, let me tell you about another thing that I did earlier this year, which is really
Okay,
exciting. We'll get to that in a second.
you got it.
Um, just in terms of what my latest work is. So we shot a movie called Nuremberg, which
Oh,
is about the war, the trials, the war crime trials at the end of the Second World War. And I play Hermann Goering. So that is with a whole bunch of absolutely fantastic actors, man. You got Rami Malek, Michael Shannon, Richard E. Grant, Mark
Wow.
O'Brien, the Newfoundlander. You've got Leo Woodall. It's just a fantastic cast, and
What a
I'm
cast.
really looking forward to what we did with that because it felt very intense while we were shooting it. You know, now
That.
I've really got no publicly discussable opinion on on the new Gladiator. You know, I mean, and I say it like that because I haven't been asked to participate or discuss this in any way, so I have no idea where they've taken the plot, how they've set things or whatever. I mean, it was an incredible moment in my life when I did that movie, and it's pretty fantastic that Ridley Scott is still around as a filmmaker to be able to 25 years later reimagine the way a sequel might work, because we did discuss it pretty heavily at the time. But I think once a movie's become, the best film of the year and win the Academy Award and all that sort of stuff, it has a certain, there's a certain sacrosanct aspect to it, and you didn't want to sort of jump up and, there were suggestions that, suddenly Maximus just he becomes alive again, and I was like, well, to me that kind of is the wrong note to play with that, so I know that the sequel is set like 30 years later or something like that, but that's pretty much all I know, and I don't personally know any of the young blokes that are in it. Obviously I'm a mate of Denzel and Connie Nielsen's in it as well, but yeah, it's kind of a difficult situation to be in, man, because every man and his dog are asking me 50,000 questions about it, and I just don't know. Maximus passed away. He's 6 foot under.
Yeah.
He's in. We know he's going to be there because he's buried underneath the
right.
underneath the ground of the Colosseum. So he's there somewhere, just his bones anyway.
Absolutely there in spirit. When I first heard about it, I thought the balls to try to follow up that classic. I'm like, damn, just makes me want to see the original even that much more. I so appreciate you taking the time. Congratulations. Good luck with the rest of the tour. I look forward to seeing you live in August at the Whiskey Go right here in LA. And listen, you can find tickets and tour dates to Indoor Garden Party at onwithmario.com. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it.
Cheers, man. Nice to see you. And I will see you at the Whiskey Go August 14, LA.
Yes, I look forward to that. Have a great show.
Cheers, man. Bye-bye.
On with Mario Lopez.